Good evening, students. Students, I'm just waiting for a couple of more students to join us, a few more students to join us. So let's just wait for a couple of minutes and then we'll begin the session. Good evening, everyone. Good evening and welcome to the demo class of GRE and GMAT students. My name is Deepika Shastri and I'm going to be your trainer for this session. All right. So students, before we start the session, it's very important to understand what we are going to be doing today. So today we are just going to understand what basically these exams are, what GRE and GMAT, what these two exams are all about. Okay, there are various common factors between both the exams. So we'll be discussing what those common factors are, and there are some dissimilarities. So we'll be discussing those as well. Okay, and also we are going to take a look, take an in-depth look at what are the various aspects of the section of various sections of GRE and GMAT and what these exams really look like. Because students, I personally believe that it is one of the most important aspect. Okay, so when we are jumping into any arena or when we are going for a war, it is very important to know exactly what we are dealing with. Okay, because the more you know, the more and better prepared you are for what is to come. All right. So it is very important for us to know what we are putting ourselves into and what is the level of preparation we are going to need in order to excel in these exams. Okay. So without any further ado, I'm going to share a PPT and let's discuss what these exams are. At the same time, guys, feel free, absolutely free to discuss any doubts that you guys have. If any question pops up in your head, feel free to ask it at that moment. The only requirement is just do not speak over each other. And the second thing is just like keep yourselves on mute if you don't have a question. If you have a question, you can unmute yourself and ask me. If you have, or if you want, you can even put your question in the chat window. So I'll take a look at that. I can't hear you. Okay, Shalini, guys, am I audible or is my voice cracking or what's going on? Am I audible, everybody? Are you all able to hear me? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Nice.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Lovely. So in that case, Shalini, can I ask you to just check your internet connection once? So probably the disrupt is from your end. So just look into it. I'm going to go slow, okay? So just to reconnect, try to reconnect the audio once. All right, guys. So let me share the PPT. Is it nice and visible, everyone? So we are going to discuss all the aspects of the test. We are going to discuss what are the various sections that are involved in both of these exams, what a level of preparation we need, and what are the various things that we require in order to excel in this exam. Okay, so let's start to dive into various sections and let's see the format of the test and what these tests include. All right, so like I said, any question, feel free to ask. Okay, guys. Is there anybody who has appeared for these exams? Kesai, yes, darling. Do you have something to ask or something to say? You raised your hand. Is there a question, darling? All right. No worries, guys. So let's begin. So I'm going to start with GRE and then we are going to move on to GMAT because there are various sections that are common. So I'll keep letting you guys know as we go. So guys, in GRE exam, there are 5 scored sections that you're going to face during the exam. The first section is AWA, okay, AWA section. The second is quant reasoning and the third is verbal reasoning. So in this class, along with me, we are going to do AWA and verbal reasoning together. And for quant, you're going to have a different faculty who's going to deal with the quant section, okay? So with me, we are together going to cover the verbal reasoning and the AWA sections. So 1 section for AWA and 2 sections for verbal reasoning. Now, what is there in verbal reasoning? So there are 2 sections that you're going to find in this section. So this verbal section is divided into 2 different sections. Each of these sections is going to be 30 minutes each, and each of these sections is going to carry 20 questions. Okay, so all in all, you will have to solve 40 questions in 60 minutes, all in all. Okay, so when you get to verbal reasoning, there are 3 major question types, 3 question types that you are going to face. First one is text completion, right here. The second is called sentence equivalence, and the last one is reading comprehension. So there are 3 different type of questions that you're going to see in your exam paper. Now, what exactly is this verbal reasoning section is there to check? Okay, so this section assesses your ability to understand what you read and how you apply your reasoning skills. So when you read something, are you able to comprehend it fully? Are you able to articulate it? Are you able to understand the reasoning and links between things? That is something that is checked via this section. Another thing that is checked is that whether you are able to select important points, because whenever you read, for example, in reading comprehension, you're going to find various kind of passages, and this is reading comprehension. RC is common for GRE and GMAT. Okay, so when both students, whenever you are reading the comprehensions, whenever you're reading a passage, you will always find there are certain main ideas or major ideas, and there are certain supporting ideas as well. So it is very, very important to distinguish between the two. So whether or not you're able to do that, are you able to distinguish major from minor point? Are you able to keep the relevant points in focus? And, are you able to blur out certain pieces of information which is just there to act as a support system? Are you able to summarize the text? Are you able to understand the structure of a text? Yet there's a pattern to formal English writing. Whenever there's an RC or an article that you see, there's always a pattern to it. So are you able to understand the pattern or not? Apart from that, the next thing is, are you able to analyze and draw conclusions from the discourse? Are you able to, reason from incomplete data? So what does it mean, reason from incomplete data? So sometimes when you do RC, you will realize when you're doing reading comprehensions, you are going to realize that there are certain unwarranted or unstated assumptions that are given there. And based on those assumptions, the whole argument is literally standing on those unstated assumptions, which you are expected to understand. So when you read when you read that argument or premise, are you able to understand those assumptions, or they are eluding you? Okay, what is the perspective of the author? What are the assumptions that the author is trying to make? What are the you have to understand various levels that are incorporated in that RC as well. Okay, what are the various levels, like literal, figurative, and the intent of the author? So these are some things that we have to understand, and these are something that they check via this section. You have to also understand the meaning of words. Vocabulary is a huge part of this test, these tests, okay, both of these tests. So you have to understand the meaning of the word, but vocabulary is a section that I'm going to take separately entirely, okay? So I'm not going to dive into more details right now. I'll get to it in the later part of the lecture. So are you able to understand the meaning of the words, sentences, the entire text? And are you able to understand the relationship between words and concepts? All right. So don't feel overwhelmed, students. We'll dive back. We'll jump back to this. We'll circle back to all this later. So I'm just pointing these out for you to know. So you don't have to really feel overwhelmed if you are at all. Okay. So the first question type is called text completion. Okay. Text completion is in the format of fill in the blanks. So what happens here is you will be given like a not a passage, but more like a sentence. It can be a simple sentence, or it can be a big complex sentence as well. Okay. So there are three variants. You have to select one answer. You'll be given, if there's a one blank. So in this section, let me draw this for you. Wait. So in this, so probably, there will be a question. This is white. Why is this white in color? Let's make it black. So there can be a question, and then there can be like a data, and then there can be a blank for you, and then the question is going to continue. There can be one more blank, or there can be three blanks. So basically, you have three variants in this section. That is one blank, two blanks, or three blanks. So in case you just have one blank, okay, just one blank, then you are going to get 5 option choices. Like this, okay? You are going to get 5 option choices. Now, you have to look at these option choices and you have to fill in this blank. You have to fill the word which is a best fit. Now, what does best fit mean? Best fit means, guys, that more than one answer here might look probable. Here, this can also be the answer. This can also be the answer. This also looks like a very lucrative choice or a lucrative option. But we have to select the best answer. So if one answer looks right, that does not mean that it is right. Okay, it is not. So maybe out of the 2 answers, you might have to select the best answer, the one that fits best within that circumstance. Okay. On the other hand, there are 2 other type of questions, which are 2 blanks and 3 blanks. In this, the answer choices are considerably less. If you have 1, 2, and 3 blank, then every blank is going to carry 3 options. Okay. 1, 2, and 3, like this. Now, for blank number 1, you'll be having separate set of options. For blank number 2, you're going to have separate sets of options. And blank number 3, you're going to have a separate set of options. So you have to pick best answer from here, put it in blank number 1, next answer from here, put it in blank number 2, and next answer from here, and put it in blank number 3. So this is how, so basically the text that is given to you is incomplete, and your job is to complete the text using the options that are given to you. Is that clear, guys? Any confusion so far? Nice and clear? Yes. Perfect. Okay, so let's proceed. The next question type. Perfect, Aditya. Lovely, Sakshi. Okay, so next, that is text completion question types. Now, the next one is sentence equivalence. Now, sentence equivalence, just like the name itself suggests, right? So there would be a sentence and you'll have to make it equal. Now, what does that mean? Here, again, just like in text completion, you got like a sentence to complete, right? In this one also, you're going to get a sentence and there's going to be just one blank. Okay, not 2 blank, no 3 blanks, only 1 blank will be there. And you will be given 6 answer choices per question. So let us make this as well. So there would be a question like and then there would be a blank, and then there would be the question. And then you will find that there are 6 answer choices given to you. Options that are given to you. So here there would be 1 blank, and your job would be to select 2 answers. Okay, for example, answer number 3 and blank number 6. So 2 answers, 2 words you have to select, which when plugged into this sentence would create 2 equal sentences. What do I mean by 2 equal sentences? If you put in option number 3, an X statement will be formed. And if you put option number 6 in your option choices, then a different set of different sentence will be formed. But both of those sentences should be absolutely parallel to each other. The words may or may not be synonyms, okay? But when plugged into that sentence, they should bring up a sentence which means the exact same thing. All right. So you will be having one blank and 6 answer choices per question, and you have to select 2 answer choices here. And it is essential to produce sentences with similar meaning. So when we produce, when these or both of these words, when plugged into that sentence, the sentence that is going to come as a result of that is supposed to be the exact same. Okay. So whether you put in 3 or you put in 6, the sentence should be the same. It should not change the meaning. Sometimes these can be pairs in the form of synonyms. But sometimes, but again, this is something that I'm going to take later today in the lecture, but 2 words which have entirely different meaning, sometimes because vocabulary is very fluid, guys. Okay, so when you just insert or plug in a word into a sentence, it just completely changes its form. Okay. So even if these words are not synonymous to each other, they both should produce the exact same meaning. Okay, so that is our job with these question types. Understood, guys? Yes? If there's any question, like I said, do not hesitate, students. Please go ahead and ask. Yes, okay. Nilakshi and Shanmukha. Tejas, Aditya, lovely. Okay, students. So now we proceed to the next. So these 2 were very GRE-centric sessions. The next one, reading comprehension, is a common section. Okay? So both the GRE and GMAT students are going to face the exact same kind of questions in this section. So reading comprehension is one of the biggest section, because one of the most many questions are going to pop up from reading comprehension. Okay. So as you must be aware, in the reading comprehension section, there is a passage that you have to read, and that passage is followed by questions that you have to answer. Okay, so that is reading comprehension. So there are 2 sections in GRE. So you will face 4 to 5 of these per section. Okay. 4 to 5 questions per section. So around 10 questions are going to come purely out of RC. All right. So very, very important. So now, again, there are going to be various type of questions involved in RC as well. So there are 3 basic type of passages that you're going to find. One is short. So short is like around, very, very short. They're going to be around 100 words long. Okay. And then they would be around medium. Medium would be around 200 to 50 words long. And then there are long passages, 200 to 400 actually. So medium can be anywhere 200, 300, 350. And then there are long passages as well. Okay. So around 600 words, 700 words passage would be long passage. All right. Plus ASP. Now they are, what is ASP? ASP is argumentative passages, okay, in which there's an argument that is given to you, and then you have to suss out the argument and find out what is being done there. This section in GMAT is called as critical reasoning. Okay, so there would be an argument that is given to you, and you would be given a set of options, and then you have to select an option, and then they would ask you which of these options is going to make the argument stronger. Okay, sometimes they might ask you which of these options is going to make the argument weaker. Sometimes they might ask you which one is, what is the unwarranted, not unwarranted, but what is the unstated assumption that is being given, and then you would have the set of options. So this section is called argument structured passages in GRE, and they are called critical reasoning for GMAT. Okay, absolutely the same. There's no difference between the two, just the name is different. Okay. So short, medium, and long passages. So there are 3 different types of passages, but within this as well, there are various other type of passages that you're going to find. Okay? So which, again, I will not be discussing that in detail today, but we will discuss that when we get to the RC section. All right. Next thing is what kind of questions you're going to get in this section. So in this section, there are basically 3 variants that you're going to find. One is 1 correct answer out of 5 given choices. So just like, not just like, but very close to a sentence sequence where we had multiple options. Here also 1 question type is going to have around 5 choices, and then you have to select the best answer, not the right answer, but the best answer. It will be the best answers, of course, we're going to be the right answer as well, but then you will see that there can be multiple right answers as well. So 1 or more correct answer out of 3 given choices. Whenever in this section, if you have 5 choices, you always have to select only one answer. Sometimes you will be given 3 choices. In every passage, you're going to find a question which is going to have 3 choices. Whenever there is a question for 3 choices, that means you can select 1 choice, 2 choice, or all 3 choice. All 3 answers can be correct as well, or maybe 2 or maybe 1. Now that is for you to find. But if there's, like, for example, if there are 2 correct answers, okay, and if you tend to select 3, then that will be a wrong answer, even if 1 or 2 choices are correct, but you will get no credit for that. Okay, so many students earlier used to be very, very cheeky, because in this section they knew that, okay, fine, so their 3 choices can be right as well. So they, because there was no negative marking, they used to mark all 3. Okay, but that was very cheeky. So if you tend to act in that way, and you decide to select all 3, then you will not get the partial credit. There's no partial credit with this question type. You will get no marks, even if 1 is wrong. Okay. Now, again, and the last type of question that you will find in this section is called select in passage question. So here they will say which line in the passage suggests XYZ, or which line in the passage answers this question, which was XYZ. Then what you're supposed to do is, you're not just supposed to write A, B, C option or 1, 2, 3 option choices, but you are supposed to just go back to the passage and highlight the section which states the answer, which is the answer according to you. So you just have to go and do, not this, wait. So you'll have to go to the passage and you have to highlight that section like this. Okay. So this is highlight the text. So you have to just go there and highlight the text. All right. Any questions so far, students? This was the RC. Just tip of the iceberg, of course. All good so far? So we move on to the analytical writing section, AWA. This is the first section that you guys are going to face in the exam. So the AWA section is going to contain 2 components. All right. So 2 components means there are 2 types of essay that you will have to write in this section. The first is called an issue topic, and the second is called an argument topic. So in the issue topic, you will be given an issue and you will have to write an essay based on that. So your essay should be around 500-ish words long, and you should not be spending more than 30 minutes because that is the allocated time. So 30 minutes, around 500 words long. The issue is going to be very generic. It's not the issues are something that you face in your day-to-day life. Okay. So like, okay, so should students do this, or should this policy be incorporated? Okay, or this is being done. What is your opinion on that fact? Should museums charge fees for entry? So something like that. Very, very generic topics, but the way you have to write your essay, now that has to be very, very persuasive. You have to write in a very persuasive manner. You have to use a perfect tone not to write. The grammar should be in place. It should be a very well drafted and very well carried out essay. Okay, so this AWA section, you have to be very careful with how you're writing your essays. The second topic that you're going to get is a very interesting type of essay, and that is called argument essay. Now, argument essay, the word argument, kind of conjures an image of argumenting and conflicting, or there's some kind of conflict, or people are arguing with each other, no, this is right, no, that is right. So no, that is not what we mean by argument over here. Argument here means that the author, okay, would be present. You would have to read like a small passage here. A small passage would be given to you in which the author would be trying to sell an idea. Okay, they would be presenting a situation. They would be giving some evidence. They would be sharing a lot of data, and they would be suggesting that this needs to be done. And your job here is to just like crash and burn that argument completely. Okay, no matter what is written in that argument or passage, your only job over here is to just completely nullify everything that is given. Okay, you have to, whatever the author says, sometimes the argument is going to be visibly flawed. It is going to be just very visibly ridiculous. Okay, visibly ridiculous. And sometimes you might look at the argument and you're like, oh my god, that sounds so legit. Okay, that completely works. That should completely work. I think I'm on this side, but no, never, ever, 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 ever support the argument. Your only job in this essay is to just crash and burn it. Just like you have to be very, very direct. You don't have to play diplomatic. You have to like just jump in with all your, with all your armor, and you have to be ready for a battle. Basically, it's like that. So here, your job is to crash and burn. You have to say unwarranted assumptions hai, useless argument hai, it's completely biased, this is highly flawed. So your job is to crash and burn the argument that is presented to you, and you have to say ki nahi, if the author used this and this, then maybe the argument would be more would make more sense. Right now it's completely insipid. Of course not in that tone, but I hope you got the idea. So again, this essay also you have to aim to write around 500 words, and the time that is given to you again is 30 minutes. The argument that you need to present should be absolutely rock solid, and there should be no loopholes, because you are basically finding loopholes in the passage, right? Whatever the author has written, whatever the author is presenting, your job is to find loopholes in there. So, but if your own argument is quite sketchy, and if it's if it's not persuasive enough, then your audience might find flaws in what you have written, and that won't be a very nice place to be in, right? So our argument has to be very, very direct, very you have to be very decisive in it. The way you write, it has to be perfectly articulated. You have to be very persuasive again, and you have to present an argument which your readers can't argue with. They should be like, yeah, this is an argument. So basically that type of essay. So very, very interesting essay. Yeah, so I think you guys are going to really enjoy this argument essay. It's very interesting. There is no choice here, guys. You will not get options. You have to write this or you have to write that. You have to write whatever you have received. You have to write on that topic. Now the score is going to be between 0 to 6 on the scale of 0 to 6 for both of these essays separately, okay? 0 to 6. Before we proceed, all clear so far, guys? All clear so far? Mehak, yes. Wait, yes. Perfect. All right. Sapna, lovely. Okay, students. So let's proceed. Now, the GRE and GMAT analytical writing measure assesses critical thinking, analytical writing skills, including the ability to articulate and support complex ideas. So you should be able to find loopholes. You should be able to articulate what is written there. You should be able to read what is not written there. You should be able to think about the loopholes. They should have been there. They should have been there. It's completely missing. Therefore, this argument does not stand a ground. So you have to, not only have to have an ability to develop complex ideas, but you have to read complex information, and you should be able to articulate that as well. Okay, you have to give some very good reasons and examples. Examples in argument essays are going to be quite different to the examples that you're going to present in your issue topic. And that is because issue topics, you would be giving very worldly examples. You would be talking about, so I want you guys to be very, very well read as well, okay, so that you're able to present some very smart examples. So examples, you can give about anything. You can give about it can pop up from sports, this thing, from politics, from world politics, global crisis, global issues. You have, the more you discuss global issues, that you can talk about scientists and their discoveries. You can throw in your examples from there. You can even give examples from your own life experience, but your examples should be very nice. You can quote surveys, you can quote people, okay? Whereas when it comes to the argumentative essay, the examples that you're going to give are going to be very, very different. All right, so they are going to come from various fallacies, but we'll get to the fallacies when we get to that lecture, okay? So you have to also examine claims and accompanying evidences. So that is our job in the AWA section. Now, the score range over here is going to, for AWA, it is going to be 0 to 6 per essay. And for verbal reasoning, it's going to be between 130 to 170, 130 being the absolute least and 170 being the absolute max. All right, for both the sections, and you'll be getting this for both the sections. So that is about the GRE. Now, few other things that you need to know in this section are that in the test also includes unscored sections, okay, or a research section. Now, these sections do not count towards your score. All right. But if you get an unscored section, you will not know which one it is. Okay. So try your best in all the sections. You might find like an extra section has popped up in there, but there is no way on earth that you would know that this is an extra section. And please do not take a random guess as well, because just in case it is not, and if you like just laze around a bit with that section, just thinking that, okay, maybe this is the research section, and everything will go down the drain. So all the sections must be done with equal resilience and equal zest. Apart from that, you might get a research section as well, okay? But research section you would know because it will always pop up at the end, okay? And it will be marked as a research section. So you may, so while the experimental section isn't marked, you can't skip it. So experimental section means unscored section. However, the research section in GRE is optional, and you can actually skip it if you want, okay? If you want, you can take it. If you want, you can skip it. But unscored section, which will pop up as an extra section in between your test, and you will not know which one it is, okay? So make sure that you are not slacking at all. Even if you have a gut feeling here, this is going to be an unscored section, but do not, please. It's not, no gut feeling is worth it at that time. You have to make sure that all the sections are attempted with the same amount of zest. Now, that was for GRE. So now let's move on to GMAT. So like I said, we have discussed a few sections which are similar, and the ones that are different we'll be discussing now. So in AWA, you have one section, guys. You have one integrated reasoning, you have one quant and verbal section. All right. So how your exam is going, what is your exam pattern? There are three various ways in which your exam can pop up. Can be planned or panned out. First can be AWA, then IR, there would be a break, a quant, a break, and a verbal. Or you can start with verbal, then a break, then a quant, then a break, then IR and AWA. Or quant, break, verbal, break, IR, or AWA. It can happen in any of these ways. Now, the first section, that was analytical writing. So as against the GRE students, you will only have one essay to write. So you will not have that argument essay. You will only have one essay, which is the issue essay. Okay. So the duration that you're going to get is 30 minutes, and argument analysis and communication, it will be done in the form of a critique. Now, verbal section is going to be 65 minutes long. So for GRE students, there were two sections and it was 30 minutes each. You're going to have like one section, and that is going to be 65 minutes long. And in that time, you will have to attend 36 questions, okay, which are going to be reading comprehension, critical reasoning, and sentence correction. Correction, not completion or equivalence over here. So in the reading comprehension, as we have discussed earlier, it is absolutely the same as GRE. The question types are going to be absolutely the same as GRE. You are going to find around 3 to 4 passages in your test, and they are going to carry around 13 to 14 questions. So around 14 questions out of 36 are going to come out of RC straight. Now, critical reasoning. In critical reasoning, you're going to find 9 to 10 questions. And the questions here are going to revolve around logical analysis of the core argument and might involve strengthening it, weakening it, finding its underlying assumptions, etc. So basically same as the argumentative passages of GRE, wherein an argument would be given to you in the form of a passage where the author would be trying to sell you an idea. Okay, they would try to sell an idea. They would present evidence towards it. They would give examples. They would quote surveys, and they would say, "Acha, yahan pe bhi hua tha, yahan pe bhi hua tha." Therefore, it is a very good idea. But your job is to again find, and you will be given questions. So sometimes the options the question might ask you to select the option which is strengthening the argument. Sometimes it might ask you to select an option which is weakening the argument. Sometimes it might ask you to find Why do I keep saying unwarranted assumption? The unstated assumption. The unwarranted assumptions would be an argumentative essay, okay, not in the argument passage. So unstated assumptions, underlying assumptions, okay, so these are few things that you are going to find, and this is the critical reasoning part. It is same as the ASP of GRE. Now, what is sentence correction? Now, sentence correction, each sentence correction question will have a sentence prompt with an underlined portion. Okay, so you will be getting a sentence and a portion of the sentence is going to be underlined. Now, the sentence is going to be flawed. It may or may not be flawed. Okay, it might be flawed, it might not be flawed. So, and 5 different sets of options will be given to you. Okay, iska alternate, what can be the alternate choice? So if this the sentence is grammatically incorrect, so which option would suffice over there? Okay, so only one of these 5 sentences would be free from error. So 5 option choices, of course, 4 of them are going to be flawed and only 1 is going to be error free. So in this, out of these 5 options, one trick is never, the first option is always exactly the same as the question. So the underlined bit is exactly the same as the first option. So if you think that the underlying bit is fine, there is no error over there, no grammatical error whatsoever, then you can select option number 1. That is a state trick out of the book. But if you feel that the sentence is clearly flawed, you know, there's some grammatical error present there, then just do not read option number 1 and waste your time. Okay, just ignore option number 1, read 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, because the first is absolutely the same. Now, the verbal section that you have is going to contain around 11 to 16 of these questions. So quite a few are going to pop up here, and a lot of grammar preparation needs to be incorporated, students, as well. So we will be discussing various grammar topics in here, and see what kind of flaws and fallacies we can find in this section. So grammar, this is straight a grammar test. So your grammar needs to be very, very strong to solve this question type. Now, excuse me. For AWA, again, the scoring is 0 to 6. And for verbal reasoning, the scoring is going to be between 0 to 60, only one section. And when you incorporate all the other sections, the final score range is around 800, okay, in GMAT. Now, students, any questions so far? All good? Okay, guys. So if all is well, then we get to the big one over here, which is vocabulary, guys. So vocabulary is a huge thing when it comes to these exams, because a lot of your marks are going to be dependent on how good your vocabulary is. So, but before we start that, guys, how many readers do I have in my class? How many bookworms? How many bookworms are here? Please tell me many. So how many are you in a habit of reading? Okay, if not bookworms, then maybe magazines. Even if you read books, novels, magazines, newspaper, any of those things. How many? Just one. Ashmit book. Oh, thank God, Shlok. You're only one. I already got a mini heart attack, yeah. Guys, I need you all to start reading. Not many readers here. Now you guys are popping up. Okay, chalo, thank God. So Ashmit likes to read books. Sapna, good. Comics, Shanmukta, very good. Reading, my reading habit is Lord good. Very good, Ashmit. You will see that it is going to pay you back in, in tenfold, if not many. Just 4 or 5 students. Kya kar rahe ho, guys? The rest of you don't read. One more hand from here. Who is this? Why am I not able to see your name? Nilambari. Okay. All right. So not many readers in my class. All right. So guys, you have to start reading, okay? Because reading is a very, very important part of this, as you know, because reading is the easiest way to build up your vocabulary, to build up your grammar. It is an excellent habit. excellent, 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 excellent habit. So I would encourage all of you to start reading. Okay? Any kind of reading is fine, but it has to be a little scholarly. Okay. So start reading newspapers, start reading articles. If you want, I can like send you articles over the group to read, so start engaging yourselves. Read as much as you can, read everything that you can lay your hands on, literally everything. And by everything, I mean, if you like go to an hospital to, get yourself checked, and if you see a pamphlet lying there, I want you to read that pamphlet as well, because you don't know where you're going to end up learning something fancy. Okay. So the reading is a very, very, very good habit. One of the best habits which you can use to acquire more words, build up your vocabulary to a certain section. Okay. Now, this is very, very essential for both of these exams, especially for GRE, because in this exam, they expect you to have a certain level of vocabulary. Okay, you need to have, we can say that you need to have an erudite level of vocabulary, which means that you need to have a scholarly level of vocabulary. So vocabulary does a lot for you. Okay, not only for exams, but when you are preparing for vocabulary, I don't want you to have like that mind frame. I'm gonna read vocabulary words. I'm gonna just study. I'm gonna retain them for some time to pass my test. No, guys, with power of words comes loads of things. Okay, there are so many people, when you have a good when you have good vocabulary, all right, you are able to comprehend everything in a better manner. You are faster in solving questions. You are able to articulate the things in a better way. You are able to write a very persuasive essay, not write a persuasive essay, but you're able to be very persuasive in general. You get the power of critical reasoning as well. So now what happens with these things? Okay, GRE, GMAT centric, excellent. You're going to, pass with flying colors in your exams. But I believe that that's a very short-term vision. When you travel abroad for your studies, you are going to be presenting yourself on a different platform altogether. And you might be really, really good in India. You might be, you might be somebody, and you are, of course, all of you are somebody here. But you have the option to rewrite yourself, just rewrite all the parts of your personality when you travel abroad for studies, because here everybody knows you, then nobody knows you. You can present yourself in an entirely different manner. So I would actually encourage you guys to work more on your personality, find out things about yourself, work on the things that you think can be the weak spot, or not a weak spot, but not your strong suit as well. So work on your personality, work on the way you speak, to work on the way you present yourself, work on the way you want people to perceive you. When you speak in front of the mirror every day, just like for like couple of minutes, not for long, just 2 minutes, speak in front of the mirror, pick up any topic and start talking. Okay, what that does is you are able to see how, when you speak, what is your posture, what is your body language, what are the gestures that you're showing, how you're moving your hands, how are you using your intonations, your voice modulation, how you're able to use your face. Of course, that is not a part of GRE, I know, but that is something that is going to stick with you for the rest of your life. That is going to, you will be able to work on your personality. And when you do all of this, and while you speak, if you're able to incorporate good words, that speaks volumes for you. When you are out there, when you're probably giving a presentation, when you are, presenting, you're taking a seminar, or when you're going for that job interview, the way you speak, you generate a lot of respect if you use good words. Because guys, nowadays, people or students do not use words at all. So for example, if I ask anybody, Achair, how was your day? So everybody's like, oh ma'am, my day was awesome. Acha, you went and you met that person today. How was that meet? How did you find that person? Oh, that person was awesome. How was the weather today? Oh, the weather was awesome. Every answer literally is, yeah, amazing, yeah, awesome, or oh, it was out of this world. That is literally the vocabulary students are using these days. So if you, with better vocabulary, you gain a certain type of respect in people's eyes. People start looking at you, they start perceiving you in a different light altogether. Like for example, Shashi Tharoor, 90% of the people might not know what he does. Okay, or what he's into, what are his beliefs. But everybody in the world knows what a beautiful vocabulary he has. And he has a command over the language, and he commands a lot of respect because of that. So when you use words, you're not only able to communicate yourself, communicate your thoughts and ideas in a better way, but people start respecting you. They should use Google while they talk to you. I mean, that is so fancy, right? So when you speak, Acha, chalo, theek hai, let's come back to the example that I gave. So for example, I went to meet somebody. Probably I went for a coffee with I made a new friend and I went out for a coffee. And then I told you guys, guys, I'm going to meet this person, rah, rah. And then when I come back, you all are like, Acha, ma'am, you met this person. How was that person? So I'm like, okay, oh, that person was awesome. Now, what can you tell about that person? By that word, awesome, which is a good word. I'm not saying that's a bad word, but I'm just saying that's an overused word. So awesome would be like a feeling more than anything, right? So if I tell you that person was awesome, can you tell me even a single trait or a single thing that I appreciate about that person? What do you think? Who can tell me? I met this new person. He was awesome, or she was awesome. So what do I mean by that? What do I mean by that? Are you able to tell anything at all about that person? Yes or no, guys? Or I went to this new cafe. That cafe was awesome. What does that mean? Come on, anybody? No idea? Doesn't make sense, right? But instead, if I use proper words to tell you how that person was, that person can be adventurous. That person can be diligent. That person can be magnanimous. That person can be garrulous. Garrulous means somebody who talks a lot. That person can be resilient. Somebody who like really, puts their heart and soul into something. That person can have a magnetic personality. That person can be hysterical, like hilarious. That person can be a lot of things, But when I just say awesome, that kind of kills the possibility. So don't you think that if I tell you what I really admired about that person, I can tell you that the meeting was awesome, because awesome is more like an emotion, like everything was fantastic, everything they went well. It's more of an emotion. But if I actually want to communicate my thoughts and ideas about that person, wouldn't it be better if I tell you that that person was diligent, that person was gregarious, that person was either garrulous, but hot talkative, or that person was laconic, that person didn't talk a lot, okay? That person was a philanthropist, or that person was very adventurous, or that person was mysterious, or that person was reticent. The reticent and laconic means that they did not talk, that they were, not very communicative. They don't speak a lot. So with such words, don't you think that communication would be better as well? I would be able to, tell you, you would be able to comprehend what I want to say. You would be able to comprehend it in a better way. You would be able to comprehend why the meeting was so good, because now you actually know the person when I use words. If I don't use words, you would just know, acha yaar, ma'am ka meeting went well. But nothing more than that. So I am not really communicating effectively, am I, by saying those things? So, or if I went to the cafe was nice, it was awesome. But again, what does that mean? Yeah, was it bustling with people? Was it enchanting, or was that place very picturesque, or was that place bustling with people, or was that place very crammed and everything was there, or was it very bleak and gloomy, or the food was quite insipid, or food was amazing, whatever. So when you use words, you tend to communicate yourself better. Okay, so I want you guys to like dive into vocabulary, and not just for the heck of it, but to really learn, to really incorporate these things in your own speech, when you speak, when you write. And it should be like you should be able to revise these words so much that they automatically, you develop a habit of speaking these words. So that is the level of preparation that I want I want you guys to put in with the vocabulary. So with that, the first few days of the class, so the regular classes will start from Monday, guys. And so we are going to touch the vocabulary section right now a little bit more. We do have a lot of time. So from Monday, we are going to have regular classes, but the first few classes of the word build section are going to be purely vocabulary centric, wherein we will be discussing a lot of tips and tricks to learn new vocabulary words, to, not only learn, but also retain vocabulary words. Chalo, let's look into it a little bit more. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen, guys. I will need a moment. I'm going to just attach my iPad here so that we can, use the screen. Just give me one tiny moment, students. In the meantime, if you have any questions, you can follow upon the things that we have discussed, and you can ask any question that you have. Just one tiny second, students. All right. Okay, students. Are you all able to view the screen? I think not. You're not able to view the screen, are you? No. Okay. Why is that the case now? Oh, I'll have to join it again. Sorry, guys, just 1 second. There's some technical difficulty over here. 844 986. Six, 6. All right, that should work. It's just preparing the meeting. Just 1 second, guys. Okay, there's some issue with the iPad. I will just use the whiteboard over here. There you go. I'm in. No, all good. Make post. Okay, for some reason it is not opening. All right, guys, no worries. We'll just use the whiteboard over here. I'll see what the problem is later. So, guys, when we are talking about, are you all able to see the whiteboard? Yes, there you go. I think it worked. Yes, the screen is here. Are you all able to see? No. Yes, there you go. Finally. Sorry about the delay, guys. All right, guys. So, like I was mentioning earlier, that vocabulary, a good vocabulary is very, very important. An erudite level of vocabulary is very important for these exams. But at the same time, don't just keep these exams in mind, but think of a bigger picture. Okay, how you want to present yourself, how good vocabulary affects your personality. Okay, so good vocabulary helps us to speak eloquently. It helps us in writing more convincingly, to be more persuasive. It helps in building some compelling arguments. We are able to describe ourselves more vividly, and we are also able to articulate viewpoints, certain viewpoints and opinion in a more effective manner if we have good vocabulary. Okay, so it helps in comprehension, it helps in understanding, it helps in also communicating what we want to communicate. And there is a very, very high correlation between a strong vocabulary and your success in studies. Not only studies, but also your profession. There's a huge correlation, students. Okay, so you in these exams, we are going to be tested on how efficiently we can understand the meaning of words and derive sense out of them. Okay, so do not mug up the words when we are learning vocabulary words. Do not try not mugging up the words, and understand the context, because like I said, words are very fluid and they tend to change meanings very, very easily. If you put a word into a sentence, it can have a completely different meaning. Okay, so we are going to see some of what these words today. Okay, because in these exams they might even test you on some very common words. Okay, high grade words are fine, but today let's look at some very common words and their secondary meanings. Direct meaning of these words, I'm sure that all of you know, but today let's look at the uncommon meaning of these words. Okay, so for example, there's a very simple word. Economical. Okay, now we know that word economical. What is economy? It's related to money, right? It's related to money. But that is a very direct meaning of this word. But what is the indirect meaning of this word? So if I'm saying, okay, I have to look at my finances, then that would be something related to economical. But when I say the writer, so when you're, as a student, when you're looking for houses, you would be looking for a very economical house because you're paying for your studies and this and that, and you don't want to be spending so much because you're not earning at the moment, for example, if a student is not earning. So, but if you are looking for a phone plan, you might look at an economical phone plan, which is not very expensive, so that you're able to manage all your finances. But so you're looking for economical plan, you're looking for economical rent. But what is the secondary meaning? Okay, the secondary meaning means to use very few words. That is the next meaning. So if an author makes an economical use of words, that means that author is using few words. Very few words. Okay, they're not using a lot of words. They are being very precise. They are being very concise. So that is economical use of words. So economical is one of those words which is very common, very regular, very day-to-day word. But in these exams, they are not going to be checking the common meaning of simple words, but they will be checking you on the secondary meaning or the indirect meaning of the words. They're never going to be checking the direct meaning of the words. So we are supposed to understand how fluid the words are and how they can be inserted into various contexts. Okay, another such word is compromise. Okay, Now, the word compromise, we know that compromise means to bring agreement between two parties. Okay? Like you and your two friends are fighting and you're acting as a middleman, trying to compromise the situation, trying to get them to a compromise. Okay? To be chore, let's be friends again and let's compromise over this thing. Okay? So that is the primary meaning of the word compromise, to come to an agreement. If there are two parties, probably there's a plaintiff and a defendant, and they are both presenting their case in front of the judge, and the judge might ask them to come to a compromise before the matter gets out of hand. So that it means that they have to come to a certain agreement. Probably, the plaintiff has to pay a certain amount to the defendant, and they can call it a day. So that is a compromise. The two parties are trying to reach at a compromise. But the other meaning of, compromise as in the form of agreement. Okay? So agreement हो गया एक meaning. The another meaning of this word can mean to put somebody at risk. So, during the time of Corona, if you are going outside and you're not wearing your mask, and, there are elders in your family. So, it can be said that, okay, fine. If you're in these days, if you're just, wandering outside the house, meeting different people without a mask, you're not only, putting yourself or your health, but you're at risk, but you're also compromising the health of the elderlies who are there at the house. So that means you're putting them at risk. You're compromising their health. So when you're compromising their health, that means you're putting them at a place of risk where it can be hazardous for them. It can be really dangerous for them. So compromise, one meaning of the word compromise can be agreement, and the secondary meaning can be to put someone, wow, don't mind the writing, guys, it's just at risk, to put somebody at risk. So these are the direct and indirect meaning of the word compromise. Another, we have got a few messages. Yes. Just sorry, guys, before we proceed, there's one message by Sadrukta. She's asking, is it necessary to pick a side in AWA for issue section, or can we go for a holistic view? Look, darling, that totally depends on the prompt that you have. So what they are exactly asking of you, if they're asking you to agree or disagree, or if they're asking for your opinion, or they're asking you to pick a side, it is in many of the essays, you do have to pick a side. In some essays, you can go for partial agreement, okay? But in most of the essays, you have to pick a side and you have to build your argument accordingly. Sometimes you can also write evaluative essays, which are, you can, talk about both the sides, but that depends on what kind of, for example, if it's advantage, disadvantage essay, then you have to discuss both the sides and then you have to give your opinion at the end. Sometimes your opinion can be, no, there are advantages far outweigh the disadvantages, therefore this is better. Or sometimes it can be one cannot survive without the other. So you can go with partial agreement as well. So it totally depends on what kind of prompt you have. So you have to build up your essay accordingly. Samita, we'll be discussing this in a huge detail when we get to the writing section, okay? Don't worry, darling. We'll discuss various type of prompts. We'll discuss what to write in every essay, how to write the essays, what should be the language, how you should attack this essay, how should, build the essay, and what are the forms of writing, ways of writing, and the whole process of writing. So we'll get into all of that, all right? Most welcome, darling. Okay, so coming back to few of the uncommon use of common words. Now there's a very common word, which is color. Okay. There's colors, C-O-L-O-R-S, U-L-O-U-R-S, two different spellings, American and Brit, both are fine, okay? So the colors, now we all know what is color, right? A color means a color, like blue, pink, green, there's that, lavender, ivory, and rah. So these are the various colors, meaning these are the direct meaning of the word color. But what are the indirect meaning? So who can tell me, how can we, twist and turn the word color, and how can we change the meaning? How can we incorporate different meanings by using this, same word, colors? Can anybody help? Or should I give you a few examples to get those brain juices running? All right, I'll give you an example first. So colors, color this, color that, making something lively. Yes, Anmukta, of course. Lively, to make something very colorful. Yes, Karen, someone showed their true colors. Very good. So true colors. Wow. Okay, I'm trying to hit colors here. Somehow my pen is not working properly. True colors. Very good. Judging on a person's color. Yes, Priyanshu. So we are talking about the color of the skin. Is it? Yes, very most definitely we can say that. Yes, the person of color. So, for example, somebody who's not white, they're called people of color. You know, they can, the brown skins, the black skins, and all of those are people of color. Very good. Yes, Priyanshu, most definitely. And showing true colors. So, for example, if you're, you know the true, in the time of need, you know the true colors of people. You know, or people show their true colors. So maybe everybody is friendly in front of you, but when you're desperate and when you actually need somebody, at that point of time, people actually show you their true colors. Some people will be out there standing right by your side, you know, whereas others would, you know, act like they don't even know you. So they actually show their true colors in the time of need. So that is another meaning of the word color. People of color is also, can also be used. People of color. Now, another thing, what else? Come on, you guys are doing good. What else? Passing with flying colors, Lakshi. Yes, good one. So you are when you pass an exam with flying colors, that means you have excelled. You have done really well. So to do something with flying colors. Very good, flying colors. Then another thing is local colors of a place. So local colors of a place means how a place is, you know, what are the various, local things, like what are the local cuisines. So actually, for example, if you're visiting Rajasthan or, anywhere, yeah, Udaipur, Jaipur, somewhere like that, and you would be like, okay, and your cab is there to pick you up from a restaurant to take you back to the hotel. And like, no, you know what, I would rather walk because I want to see the local colors. So if you just sit in the cab and you go get to the hotel, then what are you doing? You're just, going from point A to point B, and you don't know what the locals are doing, what is going on around the city, the vibrancy and all of those things, the local art and crafts and handlooms and everything. But if you walk through the market, you actually come to find see the local colors. Okay? The local colors of a place means, how people actually live, what is the art and what is the craft of that particular area, what is the local cuisine, what everything local, the local markets. So that is the local color of a place. So local color. Local colors is another form of color. But colored, if I'm saying instead of color, I'm saying colored. So colored means influenced. So people's view is really colored these days. Or people the state of public or the public's opinion is quite colored because the government has taken over the newspapers and news channels. So therefore the people's view is very colored these days. So what does that mean? People's view is influenced, or it is there's a misrepresentation. So probably the news is bought, this is bought, journalists give random fake news or whatever. So if somebody is trying to paint a picture in front of you, that means they are trying to misrepresent the reality. The next one, so colored, write the colored one as well. Colored view, that means misrepresentation or to influence. There are a lot of people's views also get colored by reading WhatsApp messages, because there's a whole new degree floating these days, WhatsApp degree. So they were throwing random things on WhatsApp and everybody is believing them, okay, without even fact checking. So their view is colored. Deep is asking a question, ma'am, from where should we get access to recording so that we can see lectures again if we have some doubts or if we are not able to join at that day? Firstly, Deep, join every day. And secondly, all the lectures are recorded. So you can find the record very soon on the WhatsApp group. I think sometime next week or Monday, Tuesday, like initial part of the week, a link will be shared with you guys in which all the recordings can be, from where you can access all the recordings. So it takes around 24 hours for the recording to get uploaded. But once it's uploaded after 24 hours or sometimes less as well, you should be able to view it on that link. So the counselors will very soon, they will share the link with you guys. All right. Now, so colored, you can write view so that you remember. Colored view, EW. Next one is colorful personality. So if a person has a colorful personality, that means that person is very vivacious, that person is very chirpy, that person is very, happy-go-lucky kind of a person. But so that is colorful personality. Next can be, not exactly color, but if we talk about colors, now colors also define, the state of a certain thing. For example, if I am in the pink of my health, that means I'm really healthy. I'm doing really well. Pink of health, and colors also describe I'm feeling quite blue today. So blue means I'm feeling very down and low. So there are various ways in which, we talk about colors and the word color. Another very interesting word is pedestrian. Now, who can tell me what the word pedestrian means? The common word meaning. What's the meaning of pedestrian? Who are pedestrians? Anybody? Yes?
A person like walking on the side of the road.
Walking anywhere on the road is a pedestrian.
Yeah.
Yes, the person who are walking on the street. Yes, Sakshi. A person who is not, riding a car, riding a bike, driving a car, but who is walking on the, or even on the zebra crossing, Sapna. Yes, but walking on the zebra crossing, walking anywhere on the street. That person is called pedestrian, on their feet, who are on their feet, walking by, walkers. So that is the meaning of the word pedestrian. But do you guys know the uncommon word of the meaning of the word pedestrian? The uncommon meaning of the word pedestrian is very common. Something, yes, Mehak, boring, very good. Very good. Very common, boring, something that's ordinary, something that is absolutely lacking in originality, absolutely lacking, like completely lacking in originality. So, for example, it's a pedestrian's view. Yes, Anmukta. Excellent, guys. I'm impressed. Good job. Yes, pedestrian's view. So, for example, you're passing from a college. Today is your farewell party, okay? And the principal or the or any one of the professors is giving a speech, and the principal is like, okay, fine, guys, I want you to, today is the last day, and today is the first day for the rest of your life, of the rest of your life, and you are going to step into new horizons, and the world is your stage. You have to go and shine and when you are, you have to become somebody, and all of you are on the path of success, and this and that, and be adventurous, be this, be that, and be very resilient, work towards your goal, and rah. So what is this? And then one of your friends come and they're like, acha, fine, acha, so what did they say? What did the principal say in the speech? I missed the speech. So you can be like, oh, the speech was quite pedestrian. So what does that mean? That the speech was just same old, yeah. You go out there, papa kehte hain, bada naam karega types, you go out there, you win this, and today is the first day of the rest of your life, and you're going to have to go and get it, and you're this and that, and rah. Now is your time to shine. And everybody says that to people who are just, going, passing, passing a course or passing getting a degree. And, so what kind of speech it is? It is quite pedestrian. Nothing new came out of it. Same old, same old. There are many. How was the movie that released last week? Probably one of Salman Khan's movie. And then you're like, oh, it was quite pedestrian. It was the same old hero, saving the damsel in distress, and they were fighting over it. And then it was happily ever, and the ending was happy ever after. So how was the movie? It was quite pedestrian. What were the reviews? The views were quite pedestrian. So pedestrian means something that is same old, boring, nothing new, nothing fancy going on, like just, regular. That is pedestrian. So the common meaning of the words are walkers. Okay? But the uncommon meaning, the one that we are going to be looking for, means common, ordinary. Okay? Something that is lacking originality. Wow, this is originality, guys. Okay, just so you know. I was playing pedestrian in the crime. Yes, you were not there. You were not playing any great role over there. Very good, Sanmukta. I like the examples that you're coming up with. Very nice. So something that is very common, very, just day to day, nothing fancy going on there at all. So that would be something that is common. Now, another word, let's look at one more. We have time. Yes, we do. So another very simple word is want, right? Or we can say wanting. Let's make this wanting. Now, want means to want something. I want this, I want that, I want something. We all want this. We all have, desires. I want this. I want to buy a car. I want to buy a house. I want that pizza today for dinner. So, want means just like plain old want to want something. But what is the uncommon meaning of the word want? The word want means lacking. So, for example, if I am like, for example, it's my farewell party today, and everybody's, out there saying great things about me. Oh, she's this, she's that, she's so helpful. She has always been there for us. She was our mentor, and this and that, and rah, rah. And when it's my time to go and speak, I will be like, oh my God, so many things have been said about me today that I find myself wanting in words. So when I say that I find myself wanting in words, that means that I find myself lacking in words. I have no idea what to say. Probably I'm so overwhelmed that I have no idea what to say. And that is the meaning of the word wanting, that I find myself wanting for words. So wanting means a simple want. Okay? The secondary meaning is to lack. To lack. Lack in words. I'm wanting in this. I'm wanting in words. I don't know what to say. So that is wanting in words. Another interesting word, guys, which I'm not sure if you guys should be aware of, is kal. Kal. Now, what is the meaning of kal? The word kal means, guys, to kill. Okay, it means to kill. So a few years back, when there was this bird flu, I think, right? There was a bird flu. So most of the poultry farms were asked to just cull the birds. Okay, so cull the birds means to kill the birds. They were all saying, don't only kill the birds who are affected, but also kill the healthy ones, so that there is like no possibility of the disease spreading. So the word cull means to kill, but it also means to destroy a species. To destroy a species. So in many countries, there's actually a hunting season as well. Sometimes when the population of deers increase, so people are asked to, engage in, in hunting so that they're able to cull down the numbers. In Canada, when the population of bears increase, they engage in hunting bears so that the population can be controlled. So that is also to cull down the population. So to destroy a species, to bring down the numbers, it is done for various birds, it's done for deers, it's done for what you call them, bears, it's done for a lot of animals. They get to cull them down, to cull down the numbers, okay, to control the population or to stop the spread of a disease. It can be for anything, but it has other meanings as well, guys. So cull not only means to kill. There was a movie as well, I think, Cull the Conqueror or something like that. So to kill the conqueror. So what are the other meanings of this word? So guys, other meaning of the words means to draw out. Draw out. So for example, the passages that you're going, the short passages and medium passages that you're going to get in your RC, these passages are culled out from a piece of article. So culled out means it has been extracted from the article. Not the whole article is there, but it's a small part that has been extracted or culled out, which has been presented before you to, solve the questions and all. So what we have to do, guys, we don't have to mug the words in these exams. What we are supposed to do is we are supposed to understand the context that is given. So once we understand the context, we understand how the word is changing in meaning. Let's look at another word. Plastic. One second, guys. Plastic. Now, what does the word plastic means? Plastic is like just that normal plastic, right? Polythene or a plastic to carry things or plastic to wrap things with, right? That is the common meaning of the word plastic. Now, what is the uncommon meaning of the word plastic? Who can tell me? Not genuine. Yes, Kevin. Not sure, as in that is the answer, or you're not sure what the answer is, Priyanshu? Fake, Sanmukta. Yes, it can be fake as well. So there are multiple meanings of the word plastic. So the word plastic is, of course, the plastic which is used to carry things, but it also means if the public's opinion is plastic, okay? If somebody's opinion is plastic, then again, that means that they have a colored vision, colored view. No, beta, they have colored view. It's plastic. Or weak in a manner that it is moldable. It can easily change form. So that also means plastic. Public's opinion is plastic means it is easy to mold. It is very easy to shape. It is very easy to color their view. So one wrong message and they will all start believing in it. They'll be like, acha, today is this. You should do this. And everybody will, no questions asked. They will start doing that. Okay. So that means that the public's opinion is plastic. It is very weak. It is very moldable. It can shape its change form very easily. So that means public's opinion is plastic, something that can be shaped or molded easily without a lot of contemplation. They will not contemplate. They will not put in any research. They would say, acha yaar, if you wake up in the morning and you have like 5-7 glasses of green tea, you will all lose weight. And then from tomorrow night, 60%, I would not say 90, but 60% of the population will get up in the morning and start having like 10 glasses of water because, they'll be losing weight. So it's very plastic. One person, if I make a video, like I have put in a lot of research. So they would like, acha, tumne research kar li, enough. They would not research. Excuse me, guys. So they would not put the research. So that is why their opinion is very weak. Their opinion is very, moldable in that form. So you write something that can be shaped easily. So that would be plastic. Okay, people are plastic, but people are plastic would mean that people, these days a lot of people are plastic. That is used, that phrase is used in the form that a lot of people get a lot of things done to themselves. So that in that way, people are also called as plastic. All right. So it can be something, if they're talking about the opinion, then it has to be, that they can be easily molded. If it is talking about people are plastic, that means people are, fake in a manner. All right. Now, next one. It's a different word, not from the same family of easy words, but this is a word which means which sounds like something, but means something entirely different. Look at this word now. It is. Why is it not me? Lionize. The word is lionize. So it comes from the word lion. Okay, so now the word lionize is a very interesting word. It comes from the word lion, okay, but when its eyes is added there, this basically means to treat somebody like a celebrity, to give a lot of importance to someone or something. Okay, to lionize, overnight a stardom. So basically, this at London Tower, I think in 16th century or so, they brought a lot of they brought a few lions, and they there was not a motley, but they in at the London Tower they displayed lines for the public, and people just went crazy over there. They went like, okay, fine, wow, what is this? And lions literally became overnight celebrities over there in London and the UK, and everybody was very obsessed and fascinated by these creatures. So that is where this word literally comes from. The word lionize. So the word lionize, it's got nothing to do with lions, but means that you're treating somebody like a celebrity, giving a lot of importance to someone, or to become a celeb overnight. Like, I won like $1 million lottery today, and tomorrow everybody knows me. Or today I invented until today I was like a nobody, and I invented something today, and tomorrow I'm everywhere in the newspapers and everybody knows me. So I have been lionized. So lionize means somebody who gets a lot of attention, who becomes a celebrity, or who is a celebrity. That is what the word lionize stands for. Another interesting word is noisome. Noisome. Can somebody guess what this what is the meaning of this word? Noisome. It sounds like noise, right? Loud, Sanmukta. Yes, noise, loud. I see where you're coming from. But that was it. This word has got nothing to do with noise, okay? The word noisome, if you don't know this word, and if you have to take an educated guess, then you would probably guess it's noisy, troublesome, very good, troublesome, noisy, something that is not easy on the ears, or something like that. But what this word really means is something entirely different. Bad smell, like staunch bad smell. That is what the word stands for. Noisome has got nothing, absolutely nothing to do with noise, okay? And has got everything to do with bad smell. So sometimes what the word sounds like, or what the word connotes, can be very, very different to what the word denotes. Now, I think we're almost out of time for today. So let's look at one last word for the day. That is enervate. Enervate. Now, what does this ring? This word. Come on, guys. What does this ring? Come on. Take a guess, guys. Enervate. What does it sound like? Does it sound like very liberate? Okay, to be liberated. That's Mukta's guess? Anybody else? Energy doesn't sound like enervate means energy. Energized. Yes, Mehek, you did not fall for it, did you now? Yes. So the word enervate, which sounds like liberate or elevate or energy. Yeah, there's no fooling you, Mehek, huh? This means no energy. On the contrary, this means to be absolutely zapped, to be exhausted. You get no energy at all. To be exhausted, to be wanting an energy. We can say to be wanting an energy, no energy at all. So sometimes how the words sound, some words which may sound similar to other words, but they do have no relation to the actual word, okay? But they might sound like they're from the same family, but it can be like far, far, far apart. So by the way, there's one more trick. Whenever you see the word eight, so it many a times, more often than not, that means to decrease in size. For example, if there's an apple, okay, and you eat it, you ate this apple, so it will become less in size, right? It will become less in quantity, and that is what the word eight, the many words that end in eight, many, I'm not saying all, okay, but many words that end with eight. So always remember to eat. Ate kar liya to khatam ho gaya hotta. So that means to decrease in quantity, in size, in volume, in suffering, in pain, anything. It can decrease. Not all words, mind you guys, huh? Not all words. Many words which finish with eight means to reduce. We'll cover this as a separate topic altogether. But guys, on that note, I am going to call it a day. And let's have a couple of minutes in case you want to discuss something. So is there anything that you want to ask, anything that you want to discuss, anything at all? No? Okay, that sounds like no. All right, guys. So on that note, so that is what so in today's session, like we discussed, what are the various aspects of these exams and how important is vocabulary in grammar. Grammar, of course, we didn't touch today, but we will be doing that very soon, especially for GMAT students. And so first few days of our lecture is we are going to completely be focused upon the vocabulary. Okay, so we are going to build up the vocabulary for the first 4 to 5 lectures. We are going to be completely, completely like only and solely focusing on the vocabulary words. After 3-4 sessions, then we are going to move on to the actual parts of the exam. Can you please brief about GRE? I was late due to another meeting, but I have to go. I have another lecture. But yes, the lecture is recorded, so you can go back and visit it. Just like probably by tomorrow afternoon, the lecture should be updated on the link. So we can connect the counselors with the counselors, and then you can review this lecture, view this lecture again. All right. Okay, Deep. So, all right, guys. So the regular classes are going to start from Monday, and you will be getting a schedule for the week. By I think Saturday or Sunday, you should be getting a schedule. So there would be few quant classes, there would be few vocabulary classes as well. So it will be like all congregated within the week. Okay, guys. So on that note, let's call it a day. I had a lovely session with all of you, and have a lovely weekend. And I will see you all on Monday. Hopefully, if you're not seeing the quant faculty, then you'll be seeing me, one of the faculties you'll be meeting on Monday. All right, students, have a lovely weekend. Bye, everyone. Most welcome, Karen. Most welcome, darling. Bye-bye.